Hi, my name is Matt and welcome to my channel. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered who was the best saint for children? Well, that's what this video is about today. Today's video is titled, The Patron Saint Every Catholic Parent Should Know. And it begins with a story. So let me tell you about a story called Saint Nicholas and the Three Small Shoes. Every winter, Daniel placed his shoes beside the door. Not because they were wet, and not because the house had rules. He placed them there because his grandmother had told him that St. Nicholas sometimes left gifts in the shoes of children who needed hope. Daniel was 9 years old, which is old enough to doubt stories and young enough to need them. That year, his father had lost his job. The refrigerator was nearly empty. His mother smiled too often and ate too little. At night, Daniel heard his parents whispering in the kitchen. "We'll find a way," his father would say, but his voice did not sound like someone who knew the way. Daniel had two younger sisters, Anna and Lucy. They still believed in Christmas would arrive by magic. They made paper stars, sang songs too loudly, and wrote impossible lists. Anna wanted a red bicycle. Lucy wanted a doll with golden hair. Daniel wrote nothing. "What do you want?" Anna asked. "Nothing." "You have to want something." Daniel looked toward the kitchen where his mother was counting coins. "I want everyone to stop being worried." Anna frowned. "You can't wrap that." That night, Daniel placed 3 pairs of shoes by the door. Anna's tiny boots, Lucy's slippers, and his own worn sneakers. Then he whispered into the dark, "St. Nicholas, they don't need toys, just help my parents." The house remained silent. Daniel went to bed, but sleep did not come. Near midnight, he heard the floorboards creak. He sat up. A shadow moved through the hallway. Daniel followed it to the kitchen, where he found an old man in a red bishop's cloak kneeling beside the shoes. His beard was white, but his face was not cheerful like the pictures in the shop windows. It's what kind of serious in the face of someone who had, seen hunger before. "You're St. Nicholas," Daniel whispered. The old man turned. "So they tell me." Daniel looked into the shoes. They were empty. "Didn't you bring anything?" Nicholas held a finger to his lips. Gifts are not always placed where children can see them. Daniel crossed his arms. "That sounds like an excuse." To his surprise, the saint smiled. "You're right to be suspicious of easy answers." Nicholas sat at the kitchen table. Daniel climbed to the chair across from him. "Were you always a saint?" Daniel asked. "No, I was once only a boy who inherited more than he needed." "What'd you do with it?" "I listened for doors behind which people were suffering quietly." Nicholas told Daniel about a poor father who could not provide for his 3 daughters. The man's despair was so great that the girls' futures were in danger. "So you rescued them?" "I left gold for them at night." "Why at night?" "Because kindness should not always make the giver important." Daniel looked again at the empty shoes. "We don't need gold," he said, "but something close would help." Nicholas leaned forward. "What do you think children need most?" "Food, a safe house, parents who aren't scared." "Yes. And toys sometimes." "Yes. And someone to tell the truth." Nicholas nodded. Daniel's voice became smaller. "Are we going to be all right?" The saint did not answer immediately. Then he said, "I cannot promise you that nothing difficult will happen, but difficulty does not mean you have been abandoned." "It feels like it, I know." Nicholas reached into his cloak and placed 3 small coins on the table. Daniel's eyes widened. "That won't pay our bills." "No," Nicholas said. "These are not for spending." He pushed the first coin toward Daniel. "This one means notice. Pay attention to the person who is afraid but says nothing." He placed down the second. "This one means give. Even when you have little, there is something you can offer." Then the third. "This one means protect. The strong are never more important than the small." Daniel stared at the coins. That still doesn't fix anything. No, Nicholas said, but it tells you what kind of person to become while things are being fixed. The next morning, Daniel woke at the kitchen table. The saint was gone. 3 coins remained. Beside the shoe sat a box of groceries. His mother stood over it crying. Where did this come from? His father found a note tucked beneath a loaf of bread. From a neighbor who noticed, no thanks required. Daniel touched the first coin. Notice. Later that day, his father received a call from a man at the church who had heard that he was looking for work. It was only a temporary job, but it was enough to begin. His mother found an envelope beneath the door. Inside was money and a message. You helped us once, let us help you now. Daniel touched the second coin. Give. That evening, he found Lucy hiding in the bedroom. Are we poor? She asked. Daniel wanted to tell her not to worry. He wanted to give her the easy answer adults often gave children. Instead, he sat beside her. Things are hard right now, he said, but you're safe, and no matter what happens, you won't face it alone. Lucy leaned against him. Daniel touched the third coin. Protect. Years have passed. Daniel grew too old to leave shoes by the door. He became a teacher in a school where many children arrived hungry, frightened, or carrying worries too heavy for their age. Every December, he told them about St. Nicholas, not the saint from advertisements, not the jolly man surrounded by presents. He told them about the quiet bishop who watched for hidden suffering, the man who gave without demanding praise, the protector who believed children should never be treated as invisible. Then Daniel placed 3 small shoes at the front of the classroom. In the first, the children put notes naming someone who might feel forgotten. In the second, they placed something they could give, a kind message, a pencil, a promise to help. And in the third, they wrote the name of someone who they would protect. Now, one winter morning, Daniel found a note written in a child's careful handwriting. I don't have money, but I sat with a new boy at lunch. Daniel held the note for a long time. Then he looked at the 3 old coins on his desk. St. Nicholas had been right. The greatest gift was not the gold left in the darkness. It was the child who learned to become a light. Thank you for watching.